Right, now we'll start with sum number 6 on page 287. Question 6, page 287. Right, let's see the sum. They've given you that following information, from the following information, prepare an estimate of working capital required to finance a level of activity of 3,12,000 units per annum. Right, let's have a look at this. They are saying that the total units are 3,12,000 units per annum. Now if you look at the sum, if you look at the adjustments, guys, you will see that all the adjustments are given to you in terms of per week. Since all the adjustments are given to you in terms of per week, you will have to convert the units also into per week. To do that, you will have to divide this by 52. So 3,12,000 divided by 52 will give you 6,000 units per week. Now let's have a look at the cost structure. The CPU, cost per unit, is given to you as raw material is 90. Raw material is given to you as 90. Wages is 40. Now in this particular sum, overheads has been further divided into three categories. Overheads has been divided into three categories, that is manufacturing, administrative and selling. Right, they have given you the cost per unit of all three of them, 30, 40 and 10. Right, now let's find out the per month. How do I find out per month? CPU multiplied by per month, no, here it's going to be per week. CPU multiplied by units per week will give you the per week units. So 6 nines are 54, 5,40,000. 6 fours are 24, 2,40,000. 6 threes are 18, 1,80,000. 6 fours are 24, 2,40,000 and 60,000. Right? So now we have our cost structure ready. Once your cost structure is ready, you can start with the sum. Let us see how do we do the sum. They have given you that raw material will be held in stock for 4 weeks. You have found out raw material to be 5,40,000. So this is going to be 5,40,000 into 4. Multiply and you can get your answer. Fine. Material will remain in process for 2 weeks. Right. Now let me make something very clear to you. When multiple overheads are given to you, you have to consider only the manufacturing overheads. When multiple overheads are given to you, like in this sum, they have given you 3 different overheads. For all your calculation, you will be considering only the manufacturing overheads. The other 2 overheads are not to be considered in your calculation of raw material, work in progress and finished goods. Do we get this thing clear? Now let's move on. They have said work in progress is 2 weeks. So raw material is 5,40,000. Labor is 1,80,000. Overheads, I told you that you have to consider, labor is 2,40,000. Overheads, I told you that you have to consider only the manufacturing overheads. You will consider only the manufacturing overheads, 1,80,000. Right? They have said it is 2 weeks. So into 2, into 2, into 2. Now, in most of the cases, we multiply labor and overheads of work in progress by 0.5. But in this particular sum, they have specifically given you the ratio. They have said that wages should be 50% and overheads should be 40%. Ideally, we multiply both these by 0.5. But here, since they have specifically given you the ratio, you will have to take the ratio that they have given you. Let's move on ahead. Finished goods remain in stock for a period of 4 weeks. So 5,40,000 into 4, 2,40,000 into 4, 1,80,000 into 4. Again people, please remember that you have to take only the manufacturing overheads. The other two overheads are not to be taken. Fine. Let's move on ahead. Credit allowed to customers is 8 weeks. Let's see this. We didn't write this earlier. They have given you, guys, they have given you selling price per unit is 250 rupees. Right? Now, let's see this. Let's see the debtors now. Selling price per unit is 250 into total units 3,12,000 into debtors period 8 weeks divided by total period 52 weeks in a year. They are saying that credit allowed to debtors is 8 weeks, but 20% of the invoice price is collected immediately. Since 20% is collected immediately, the balance which is going to be collected later, which is going to be my debtors, is going to be only 80%. Since 20% is cash, the balance 80% will be your debtors. So this is how you will get your debtors. Let's move on ahead. Time lag in payment of wages and overheads. Wages is given to you as 1.5 weeks and overheads is given to you as 4 weeks. Wages is 2,40,000 into 1.5 weeks. Here they have said overheads. It is here that you will consider all the overheads. So you will have to take all the 3 overheads: manufacturing, administrative and selling overheads. All the 3 overheads are going to be considered here. So that is 1,80,000, 2,40,000 and 60,000. Right? They are saying that it is going to be 4 weeks. So into 4, into 4, into 4. Credit available from suppliers is 4 weeks. Creditors for supply of raw material. Raw material is 5,40,000 is 4 weeks, but 20% of the creditors are paid 4 weeks in advance. Since 20% of the creditors have already been paid, the balance payment required to be made is 80%. 20% of the creditors have been paid in advance. So my advance paid to suppliers is going to be 20% of my raw material, that's 5,40,000, and they have been paid 4 weeks in advance. So into 4, right? Next, cash and bank balance is to be maintained at 60,000. So cash balance required is 60,000. You ask all the figures, you can just multiply, add, subtract and get your answer. Fine. This finishes this sum. Thank you very much.